Hey, so this is my second cooking video. The first one was super easy. This one is a little more involved, so we're gonna see how I do with this. Pray for me, pray for me. Now I'm all prepared to cook because I got my hair in the bun because I like my hair up. You know, I just like my hair up. I don't like it, you know, in the way. So I'm ready to cook. So what I'm cooking today is not for me. Someone has ordered a pot of chili. I was not planning on making any chili, but they was like, listen, how much do you want for a pot of chili? So I'm making what I call my luxurious beef chili because this is luxurious. It is, say it again, Louise. But anyway, it's going to be this really serious batch of chili because I don't, you know, it's got to be extra for me because I love cooking, but I also love like just doing it my way and just adding a little something that's just kind of unexpected. So get ready for my luxurious chili. All right, so let me show you some of the stuff that I will be using in the chili. So we got some peppers over here. Let me move these out the way. So we got some peppers over here. I think I got these from Whole Foods. Some 3-pepper blend because I don't feel like cooking. This cat's, excuse me. All right, so let me go back to this. So I have this 3-pepper blend from Whole Foods, and this actually is not that expensive. Some things at Whole Foods is just comparable to everything. I got an onion, I'm about to cut that up. Then we got some wine, this is some Merlot, you can see where that comes in. I have some salsa, my spices that I'm about to make the spice mix with. I got tomatoes, these are fire roasted tomatoes. These are some tomatoes with green chilies. Then I have the beans. So I have black beans. I have cannellinis, which are, of course, great white navy beans. And white kidney beans, I mean. And then chili mild beans. So I use these too. So then some Worcestershire. And then all the things that are going to make the spice blend. Some broth, some beef broth, roasted corn. Now, roasted corn, you can actually get roasted corn, frozen roasted corn at Trader Joe's. However, not I just did this. And the quick way to make roasted corn, just so you know, is take some frozen corn, defrost it, and then toss it with olive oil. You can salt and pepper if you want to, but I don't because I'm gonna have all the seasoning going on, so I didn't do that. And then just put it in the oven for like 30. Just start it at 30 minutes, stir it up, and then just watch it for like until it gets to the goldenness that you want it to be. This is chipotles and adobo sauce, and I love them with the adobo because it gives it a smoky aspect to it with that heat. And then right here is the meat. This is 2.5 pounds of stew meat. Now, a lot of times when I make my chili, I do like a roast and I shred it, but I found this, and I'm gonna cook this down, and then we're gonna like kind of semi-shred, cut it up more as it cooks, because I'm lazy and I'm not gonna cut it up right now. I'm gonna cut it up right in that pan. All right, so that's the ingredients. Let me get started. Alrighty, I got my water. Y'all see that? You got to have your water. Stay hydrated. And now let's make a seasoning blend for this. Now, the reason why I always do seasoning blends is because I saw this years ago from Chef Paul Prudhomme, and he always said to mix your seasonings so that they can, so that they can blend together and create the taste profile for you. So as opposed to just throwing in the seasonings, you should, especially the dry seasonings, you should make a seasoning blend and go from there. So here we go. We're going to start out with the sazon. And you see I get the big size of sazon. So we're going to do, because I'm doing a big pot, so I'm going to do 4 tablespoons. You notice I like 4 tablespoons. I got a thing for 4 tablespoons. That's 2, that's 3, that's 4. I was going to put some adobo, but I'm just going to go, but this is a red. When I do a white bean chili, I always use adobo. Reds, I use sazon. All right, so then we got that. And then, of course, got to add some garlic powder. I don't know about y'all, but garlic is life to me, child. So we're going to do 1 and 2. So we're going to do 2 of those. And in comes the cumin, because you cannot have something like this chili without some cumin in it. I'm doing, this out of there. I'm gonna do 3, because I like a lot of cumin. I put a lot of cumin in. 3 tablespoons of cumin in here. Okay. And then next up is going to be a little paprika. That's smoked paprika right there. And we're going to do 2 teaspoons of that. Because I really, you know, chili should have a little smokiness to it. Should have that little smoky taste. So we got 2 right there. All right, so we got 2. And then we're going to add in some oregano. For some reason, I need to buy a big thing of oregano. Because this is the only thing of oregano I got right now. Is this little thing. Hold on. All right, so now back to the oregano. I think I'm gonna put about a tablespoon of oregano in here. Okay, a tablespoon. And any leftover that I don't use, I will be holding on to, you know, I'll mark it and hold it for something else. And then we're gonna do a little coriander. Got this coriander right here. I'm gonna do just a teaspoon of a pretty healthy teaspoon of coriander, because coriander has like a like citrusy vibe to it, so I don't want too much. And then a little cayenne right here. I'm gonna do 1 teaspoon of cayenne. I'm trying not to make it not even a full teaspoon. And some chili powder, because you got to put the chili powder in. I know I'm like doing cayenne and chili powder, but here's this chili powder I get. And I'm gonna do about a tablespoon of chili powder. Now this is making a lot of it, and I always make extras, so in case I need it, like if I'm making tacos or something, I'll put this on it. I'll use this for tacos too. It's for like beef tacos. This is like for beef. I'm doing fish and stuff, I do a different one. So anyway, here we go. We're gonna like mix this all up. And so this is what I'll be using in the chili itself. So this is the chili seasoning mix. Okay, so next up, I am about to cook the meat and the vegetables. So this is just my little olive oil that I use to cook with. Now, here's the thing. Just a tip. You don't need to spend the extra money for extra virgin olive oil if you're cooking with it. Extra virgin is more for use in like making salads and things where you're not cooking it. So what we're first going to do is we're going to take the onions that I chopped up, and we're going to start cooking those. We'll put those in. We'll put in those. And then to it, we're going to add some minced garlic. And yes, I buy minced garlic because I ain't doing all that work. I know I could, you know, buy some garlic, press it. I ain't doing all that. I'm going to do a tablespoon of garlic on top of there. And then I am adding in these 3 pepper blends. So this is all that's going in there. So I'm going to let this cook. Now here's the trick. If I was making this just for me, I would be putting in shredded carrots, because I always put carrots in mine. I like mine, it's almost like a veggie beef chili, which is almost like a stew. It's like a chili stew. Alright, so I'm going to let these cook. I'm going to cover this up, and we're going to let this cook for a little bit. So let this cook down. Okay, so now I am done with these. They're soft, and that's pretty much what I wanted. I don't want them caramelized. They don't have to brown. If I was doing it for me, I probably would have caramelized them, but I really like all this juiciness in here, and that's going to all go into the pot. So here's the pot right here. Let me show you the pot. See if you can see the pot right there. So that's the pot, and so now I'm going to put this in the pot with all the juice and everything, because I want all that goodness in the chili. All right, so I'll be right back, because I'm gonna wipe out this right quick, and then we're gonna get started on the meat. Okay, so now let's keep going. I have cleaned, rinsed that pot out, just the pan out a little bit, and now I'm going to start on the meat. So first things first, a little olive oil just to get that pan together. All right, so then we're going to just dump this in, this meat. Use the same everything. Alrighty, so now we're here. These are pretty much browned. So let's get a little flavor in it. And I know you're going, but you didn't put any flavors in here. Absolutely not. Because I like everything to be kind of basic until I get to the point of actually making the chili. So, but what I am going to do is I'm about to put, let me just wait a quarter cup of Worcestershire. Stir that in. Make a decision. Do I think I need more Worcestershire? Yes. Okay. I think I need more Worcestershire, so I'm going to go with a half a cup of Worcestershire. Worcestershire. You don't know. And I did the right thing this time. I just took the top off. Okay. All right. So we got that going on. Then we're going to do a half a cup of red. So this is a Merlot. You can use any red you want, but I don't like Merlot. And somebody left me some Merlot, so that became my cooking wine. So I'm going to do a half a cup of Merlot in here. And one of the reasons why I use wine is wine is a good tenderizer. And I need this beef to tenderize as it's cooking. Because right now this is tough. And so I'm going to need this to tenderize. And it gives it a richness to the flavor of the meat too. So this is like, Worcestershire and red wine. And then I'm going to put just a little bit because I just want to make sure. Now, there is a lot of juice, and that's good. And then I'm going to do a half a cup of beef broth right here. Got this from Walmart. Okay, so that's all in there. And so now I'm going to mix this all up. And I'm going to let this cook and simmer for about 20 minutes. And then what I'm going to do is, once it simmers and cooks down, and the meat becomes tender, I'm going to cut these pieces up because they're a little too big for the chili. Okay, so it's been almost an hour. This stuff is taking forever to cook down. But what I'm about to do is I'm going to start cutting them up, the big chunks, into smaller chunks. Because I don't want these big, huge chunks in the chili. And it'll also help it to tenderize a little faster. So some of it's tender because I want it to be tender. And then I'm going to pour, So let's get that done. That's done. So now I'm going to move this pot right here, lift this up just a little bit, and I'm going to add all the meat to this. Give me a second. Grab a spoon. And any juice that's in there, I'm putting it in too. All right. So that's that for those two things. So we got that in there. All right, so now let's start adding to the pot. So first off, I'm going to start adding tomatoes, these fire roasted tomatoes. All right, so next up is some salsa. It doesn't matter what it is. I just add a little salsa in there. It's just up to you which one you use. So this is some diced tomatoes with green chilies. My roasted corn. Chipotles with adobo sauce. I know y'all going, where the damn beans at? The beans are coming. The beans are coming. Don't you want So these are 2 cans of the black beans and the cannellinis. So we're going to toast those in. Boom. All right, now we have these chilies, mild beans with chili sauce. So I always throw in the red beans. I always just get the ones with the chili sauce on it because it just adds in more flavor. So I got 2 cans of this. So whew, we got a lot going on. So let me start stirring it all in. So now, before I really get started, this is what I do. I'm handy dandy, don't feel like doing anything else. So I'm going to take this empty can, right? And I'm going to pour broth in it. So I'm going to add a little beef broth to this because I need to like thin it out. So I'm going to thin it out with a can full of beef broth. I know I'm precise as hell, but you know, that if you cook a lot, you understand this precision I got going on. So it's basically a can full, the can that I filled up with beef broth. All right, so that's for that now. Now, did all this, but what I haven't put in yet is the seasoning mix, and that's what I put in last. So now I've got all this kind of mixed up good. You see the corn, you see the beans and the peppers and the onions. Okay, so it's looking good. So now let's add seasoning to it. So here's the seasoning mix. So I'm going to start out with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So we got 6 tablespoons of it to start. And then I'm going to mix this in. And now that I'm doing this part, that's when I'm going to start like this. Hello. I'm going to get this started to heating up. And get all this mixed up. Now at this point, this takes a lot of me watching it. I'm just putting this top on it for now. So now I'm going to be sitting here and I'm going to let it simmer because it's a lot right now. So I'm going to let it cook and I'll get it to a good simmer and let it simmer for a little bit. And as I'm letting it bring it to a simmer, because this is a big pot, every few minutes I do go in and I stir it so I don't get any scorching on the bottom. So that's how I prevent the scorching. Well, you're going to get a little, but not a whole lot, is by I do a continuous stirring throughout. So let's let this go. Then I can check it and see does it need any more seasoning. All right. So this has been, it's starting to simmer. You can see it's been simmering for a little bit. And so let me I gave it a taste already, and it doesn't have enough punch. So I'm about to add a little more of my spices. So I'm going to start with 6. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 more. Now, here's the deal, is that when I tasted it, it doesn't have a lot of salt in it. It's like, for me, I am a salt freak, and I know I should not be. I know everybody be getting on me, but honestly, I don't have issues with my pressure. So I have always, you know, just had a lot of salt. So anyway, so I am not going to adjust it to my taste because baby, I used to oversalt food. So I have learned not to adjust it to my taste, especially since this pot isn't for me. Now, if it was for me, I would probably be adding more salt. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to taste this right quick, see how it tastes. Oh my God, that's so good. Yep. Don't even need salt. Once I added more spice in, ooh, there's some spicy chili. Woo-hoo, child. So, I'm gonna let this cook a little bit longer because this isn't for me. They're gonna pick it up to keep it at home, let it sit overnight, and then they're probably gonna start eating it tomorrow. So anyway, this is the pot of chili. I'll try to sneak a bowl and plate it up and, you know, use it for the pictures or whatever before they come and get it. But anyway, here it is. Let me talk to y'all for a minute. See my setup and everything? So anyway, there is the pot of chili still cooking. Thank you all. This is what, my second one. The other one was just, you know, doing my seasoning mix. Now I got to clean up everything right quick and make sure the kitchen is clean. Not too bad. Didn't take too much. So let me know if you would like to see more cooking videos in the future. If this is some content you would be interested in. Also, if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you're planning on trying it out, let me know. Now, this is a big old pot of chili. You don't need to make this much unless it's for a big group. So cut it in half. Just cut it in half. It'll work the same way. And if you make too much spice mix, then just hold it for like when you're going to make some tacos or anything else like that. So anyway, let me know. And if you do, please let me know if you like it or not. Now, it's your Lulu. Be bold, be brave, be fearless, be free. See you later.